Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hey, have you read this book? The title of today's book is The Queen of Katwe, written by Crothers. This true inspirational story is so extraordinary that it was made into a Disney movie. Katwe is the largest of 8 slums in Kampala, Uganda. It is one of the worst places on earth to live, and it is where single mothers end up. The slum is so often flooded that many people sleep in hammocks, which are suspended just under the roofs to avoid drowning. There is no sanitation and the smell is appalling. It is a maze of alleys and dilapidated shacks with no street signs. The children venture out to downtown Kampala daily to beg for money. Fiona's mother Harriet was only 16 when she had her first child. Fiona's father died from AIDS when Fiona was very young, then her sister died soon after. Harriet struggled to survive after her husband died. She did her best by selling produce at the market. When Fiona was about 5 years old, she would help the family by going out to sell some cooked corn and doing chores. Every day it would take 3 hours just to fetch water. Harriet tried repeatedly to send Fiona to school, but she was unable to pay the school fees, so Fiona had to leave. Eventually, Fiona could attend school when she and 60 other kids received $75 annually from the Andrew Pop Memorial Scholarship. These funds resulted from Andrew Pop's tragic death, when his parents decided to put Andrew's college funds towards these scholarships. Robert Katwe, who introduced chess to Fiona, had also known hardship and poverty. Robert was brought up by his grandmother. When his mother made contact again, she sent him to school, but when he was 8 years old, his mother became sick with cancer and died. Robert was then cared for by his aunt, who was already caring for her own 6 children, as well as 6 orphans. Robert worked hard and became first in his class for his last years at secondary school. He was also a gifted soccer player, but because he was so poor, he was the only player in bare feet during his first inter-school match. He became so well known in Kampala that other schools would sometimes pay Robert a few shillings to play a game in their team, which usually won. Robert won a scholarship to Kampala's Kyambogo University, where Robert graduated with a diploma in civil engineering. After leaving university, Robert often went hungry, but finally found a job with an American ministry called Sports Outreach Institute, which reached out to people through sports. Katwe went to Katwe with some soccer balls. Then after the children played on a makeshift soccer field at a dump site, Katwe would give testimony and tell stories of his own life to the kids. Many kids didn't go to school and were homeless and orphans. As a group of kids who came to play soccer grew, Katwe noticed that some kids didn't play but only watched from the sidelines. As a way to build a relationship with the kids who didn't play soccer, Katwe decided to teach them how to play chess after the soccer was finished for the day. One day Fiona followed her brother to find out where he had been going. Her brother Brian had been learning to play chess. 9-year-old Fiona was avoided by the other boys at the chess project at first because she was dirty and aggressive. Katwe got another girl to teach Fiona the moves. Fiona went for the porridge which Katwe provided as much as the chess. Fiona played chess aggressively to survive, just like in her real life. Harriet was not happy with her children spending so much time at the chess project when they could have been selling corn. However, she relented when she found out that at least they were getting a meal, which sometimes she couldn't give them. In 2005, a year after the chess project began, Katwe went with his 6 best players, all boys, to a school's chess tournament, even though the group of boys were not attending school. The kids from Katwe's team were wearing their best clothes, but the other kids in their school uniforms looked down on the slum kids. Katendi's team were the youngest, and they outperformed some of the more established chess players and received a trophy and medals. The result was that more and more kids started to go to the chess project. Katendi gradually expanded his chess project to 3 other slums, and he created his first tournament so that the players of each slum could play each other. Fiona was the only girl who took part. Sometimes the boy would get upset that he was beaten by a girl. In 2007, 20 kids, including Fiona, entered Uganda's under-20 national championships. Fiona was only 11 years old, and most of her opponents were 18 or 19. As Fiona became more confident at playing chess, her moves have become less aggressive and more strategic. Fiona looked out of place, wearing a torn skirt and flip-flops compared to the well-dressed university students, but she played so well that she became the women's champion. Fiona also won the junior championship in 2008 and 2009, but she still felt inferior because of her background. From all of Uganda, the 3 children who were qualified to go to Sudan for Africa's International Children's Chess Tournament were all from Katendi's chess project in Katwe. The children were able to attend because they were sponsored by a local company. No one in Katwe could believe that these kids would be flying in a plane. Fiona and the 2 boys played so well that they received gold medals, certificates and a trophy, and to their embarrassment they came back as heroes. But it was depressing for them to go back to their tiny shacks after staying in comparatively luxury accommodation. Fiona won so many games that she qualified to compete at the Olympiad in Russia. When she was told, she had no idea where Russia was. At the 2010 Olympiad, Fiona at 14 was one of the youngest of more than 1,300 players from 141 countries. Despite her successes, Fiona still faces many challenges. Her dream is to become a grandmaster, but can this really happen? She is very close to her family and does not want to leave them. So will she be able to find a better life for herself, away from the slums of Katwe? To find out more about this remarkable girl and how she got on at the Olympiad, I recommend that you read this amazing story. Thanks for watching.